I didn't actually see XQC up in arms about this, like, because they love making these like, oh man, well I stand against racism, guys. I stand against racism, which is why I'm over here telling you unconditionally this cracker discourse has gone too far. I wonder what that's about. Could you just shoot straight and point out white boys like Asman and X don't give a when D and their entire friend group drops the N-word? Oh, that is 100%. Like, if Asman Gold and XQC have had an issue with Destiny saying the N-word as recently as like last week, I haven't seen it. I've never heard them criticize Destiny saying the N-word. That is definitely something that I will openly call out. Never have I ever heard them speak out against Destiny saying the N-word openly on a podcast once. Not even once. But they got all the smoke for the term cracker, okay? Which is very odd. I mean, I'll be honest. I do find that very strange. You can clip that and ship it if you want. I do find it very strange because I know they don't like that. I know they don't like that word. I know that. I know from my personal experience. I know that they don't fuck with that. So it's odd that like there aren't a ton. Maybe they have criticized it. I just haven't seen it on LSF. Okay. Like I said, it is a perplexing situation. It is a rather perplexing situation to me that like a couple weeks ago, not even a couple weeks ago, like last week, perplexed that, you know, when Destiny, it is quite a perplexing situation that a couple weeks ago, Destiny literally said the N-word, and that shit wasn't like, that shit did not go omega viral. Does anyone have that link? I'm going to look this up real quick. Because like right now, the discourse on LSF about anti-white racism is popping. Okay. There is no better time to be a gamer talking about anti-white racism. You know, at the top of the leaderboards over here, at the top of the fucking leaderboards, there has been like, I guess they've like deleted some of them, or here it is. Actually not a fan of racism. Hasan sides with his mod, Frogan over insulting Ludwig. And it's just like so strange because it's like the third day. It's basically like the third day of this cracker discourse, you know? Third day now of the cracker discourse. Destiny literally said the N-word like 2 weeks ago, straight up on camera, on his own podcast, said the N-word. That shit was on LSF for like half a day. Okay? No up dudes for that, I guess. And I know that, you know, no matter what happens, sides with his modest, disingenuous title and framing. I know. It's just odd. Such a strange situation. Such a strange situation we've come to be. What is it called? Gets a little too drunk? Every fucking year, Asmus take on a song saying you can't be racist towards white people. Every fucking year, bro. How does that happen? Every year, the guy who says the N-word, like openly on camera, openly on Twitter. What is it? Let me take a look at this real quick. There it is. Destiny gets a little too drunk on his podcast. 500 upvotes 19 days ago. Mission accomplished, soldier. Return to base. RL realizing this was a mistake. Why the fuck did he say it like Riley Reid? Just a little too drunk, guys. But remember, this only got 500 upvotes because, like, who cares, right? That's not that big of a deal. That's not that big of a deal. Let me look at this real quick. Let me see this real quick.
No, Dan.
Wait, reading off. I already did. There's
Notice
only one
how
that's
Dan
above
isn't
the
talking
threshold.
to
And I
his
already said
microphone
it.
at all. Even though Dan's talking at the same time as me, you can't even hear him because he's talking away from his microphone like a fucking inbred.
They can hear me.
They can't hear you, Dan, because you're not even talking into the microphone.
Okay.
If you do that one more time, I'm going to say the N-word.
Is it actually on your channel or his channel?
It's my channel.
What's up?
What up?
No!
I'm alive! Wait, the guy said that about me 50 times. I can say that.
It's so odd. It's so strange, bro, that a 40-year-old man with a child, 2 divorces under his belt, openly fucking saying the N-word, and is 65% upvoted. And I might be mistaken, but I did not hear Asmongold's subreddit up in arms over it. I did not hear Asmongold shitting on this behavior, and I'm sure he would be against this kind of thing, for the record. Okay? I didn't actually see XQC up in arms about this, like, because they love making these like, oh man, well I stand against racism, guys. I stand against racism, which is why I'm over here telling you unconditionally this cracker discourse has gone too far.
Maybe this.
I wonder what that's about. Perhaps Reddit is too easily fucking brigaded. Okay? Perhaps. And a lot of people, whether they acknowledge it or not, get duped into being willing or unwilling participants in Destiny's PR campaign. Because he was going unhinged bananas mode on Ludwig and Cutie and all of that shit. And then all of a sudden, they released the pressure valve. Frogan says cracker. Frogan says Ludwig engaged in cracker-like behavior. And then, oh my God. And then I do an hour of coverage on it saying, I don't think Frogan's reaction, the way that she reacted, is valid. However, I do understand where her anger is coming from, considering that, a lot of people falsely smear pro-Palestinian charities as like being pro-Hamas, and offering any credence to that narrative, at worst, basically solidifies it in the eyes of a lot of people in the margins, or at best, basically says that you're capitulating to the fucking reactionary mob that will come after you and cancel you. And I think that was a fairly nuanced critique of the situation, where I said I recognize the frustration that Frogan had, and also simultaneously recognize that Ludwig himself is an overall good dude. And I think he was doing his best. And regardless of that, his second statement after donating $10,000, which is great, was simply to say that I'm worried about members of my community not being fully on board with a charity. Now, that's not clippable. That's really interesting you said that, because someone did clip it, but you wouldn't see it because it got downvoted heavily. This really is the same person from the Discord that was bullied? Yeah. We're going to talk about him in a second. I'm J Miles 38 from the Discord, from the anti-white. Wait, why'd you guys ban him? Buddy, your community was shitting on me in Discord for getting beat up in school for being white. Yeah, we know, brother. We know. We'll talk about that in a second, too. Anyway. It got deleted. What got deleted? 2012 account. Anyway, the thread you were talking about, LSF, got deleted. I mean, those threads can pop off, by the way, all day, every day. I don't really give a shit, because my point here is that those threads are absolutely, without a doubt, an echo chamber. Okay? You go anywhere in the real world. And try to engage with people, unless you're at a fucking Klan meeting. You go anywhere in the real world and talk about like how awful it is that you get bullied for being white. A group of white guys are going to laugh at you. Okay? I myself am a white guy who laughs at that notion that you are being personally victimized and being hit with racist attacks for the marginalization that you experience as a white guy. And I don't think most white guys are like this, for the record. That's why, in Florida, there's dudes who call themselves crackers. You know what I mean? It's a moniker that is self-adopted, right? Because the etymology of it is different. The etymology also still gives power to white people in this circumstance. Okay? And this is a conversation that I've had a million times over. It's a complex conversation only if you want to make it complex. But I am totally fine with having this conversation over and over again with those who are willing to listen. Except it's much easier. It's much easier to just go, no, fuck you. You're just an anti-white racist. And I think a lot of people, especially white people, who are in these circles or who are extremely online, because I do see this like on Reddit more than anywhere else, have the capacity to lean in to the reactionary tendencies. Okay? To the reactionary tendencies. And that is a very fearful prospect, that white identitarians, Nazis and the like, can so quickly weaponize this discourse. Okay? So can so quickly weaponize the discourse, talk about like, yeah, white people are the victims, actually. You're right. And if you looked at those Reddit posts, if you are one of those people who's like, yeah, no, white people get, ritualistically humiliated, blah, 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 blah. If you are one of those people who feels that way or finds themselves in the throes of this kind of discourse and leaning on the side of like white people being victims of racism, reverse racism, if you want to call it. Okay. Look to those who are on your side. Look to those who are defending you and what some of the things they're saying. And perhaps then you will understand that you are on the wrong side of this argument because your side is filled to the fucking brim with dudes who are using this discourse to further radicalize you, oftentimes to much success. This is the reason why, although this is a laughable notion, I routinely find myself defending this issue, even though it's a silly one. People who say stuff like, isn't Hasan openly racist like all the time? He is only not racist against blacks and Muslims, which makes it okay. Sometimes it's good to just take a peek at like people who are on your side defending you on the white people are under attack discourse and consider what their worldview may look like. People that say blacks and Muslims. Hasan thinks black people can do no wrong. Shit like that. Here's another one. They're talking about the word cracker because I laughed at someone complaining how racist it is for a white person to be called cracker. So basically, Hasan says judging someone by the color of their skin by using a racially motivated slurs is okay. He got so horny that he couldn't even write this correctly. Surely this will lead to consequences from the Twitch moderation team. Remember, folks, I have the motherfucking pass. There are a few other choice ones that I saw that were heavily upvoted. And of course, everyone that was reasonable was heavily downvoted. Okay? Like literally people in the Reddit trenches trying to be like, listen, dude, you're being ridiculous. Like, he's white. And as a white person, he's saying it's like a laughable notion to talk about like anti-white racism on these terms, right? Because of our colloquial understanding of what racism is. You're mistaking like one singular act of discrimination that oftentimes contains multitudes within it as far as like why it's happening to systematic destruction of an entire population for inalienable characteristics, which is ridiculous, right? Anyway, there were more people that were saying stuff like that, getting heavily downvoted in comparison to the many people that were saying some of the most unhinged, most ridiculous racist things I've ever read. You have to put the pass in your wallet? Yeah. There is perhaps no greater representation of how laughable this discourse is. God, these commie fucks are disgusting. Just think if we stopped producing SSRIs for 2 years, these subhuman neat commies and socialists wouldn't exist. Wholly based. Now, wholly based. My bro trying to understand the mind of people on Reddit. I mean, I will go into every avenue, especially such a suicidally alcoholic post to make. Yeah. I will go to every avenue and try to help people on their journey of understanding the world with different lenses on, right? And Reddit is another one of those avenues, especially when I see a lot of people falling for this bullshit. So I might not be able to convince this guy. Probably got a whole lot of other baggage going on. But at least those who see this, who are maybe on the precipice, who personally think, yeah, I kind of see what these guys are saying because they flatten out racism, right? They flatten out racism across the board. Yeah, I mean, you know that my man is close. Hasan complains about having to deal with people clip chimping him. The DGG clips are working. The more clips we make, the more hair follicles he will lose. Watch this trust fund Nepo baby cry in his Discord is hilarious. I love how Ludwig ignores all the shit he previously did to Destiny, lying about DGG to just suck up to Hasan, making stuff up about Melina, Destiny, and Cute Boot. I mean, dude, they almost exclusively post about me over there. It's really sad. It is. So, probably said it before, but used to be a very fanatic right winger and you got me out of it. Keep up the good work. It helps. Yeah. This is why I do it. This is why I do what I do, because I want to make sure that people that are on the edges, on the precipice of radicalization towards right-wing ideas, I hope that they can take a deep breath and reconsider their positions before leaning in to the comfortable bosom of right-wing reactionary politics, because that kind of discourse, that kind of ideological aspects can be very comforting for people that want their biases to be reaffirmed, right? For people that want their biases to be reaffirmed by others instead of re-examining the way they see the world, this kind of discourse can be captivating. It can create a safe space for them. It can make them feel like, instead of doing the hard work of like really reconsidering, really trying to empathize with people that have less than them or are different than them, it's much easier to just find a group of people who say, no, dude, your shit's actually fire. Let me tell you here. Let me give you a little bit more about like how white people are getting fucked over. Okay. It's definitely fearful for me. I find that concerning. Cusp, not precipice. Okay. Cusp. If I had $1 every time you've been canceled for anti-white racism, I'd have enough money to avoid the top of the hour ad break. God damn it. What do you think is the best way to stay grounded and not become someone like Mr. Broccoli or his fans, besides reading theory and not falling for ad break drama on their net? Okay, chill. We already got it. These people will simultaneously say you aren't white because you're Turkish, then get mad when you try to explain to them white is a made-up concept made to only include the preferred in-group. I know. Which is ironic because they don't personally see this as well. Do you adhere to this rule, though? If you personally think that I am an anti-white racist, okay, like, and that is like a real concept, like that I see white people and I think like, oh man, this white person is going to colonize my space or whatever, I guess. I don't know what to tell you, okay? I'm white. Now, if you don't consider me to be white, well, then, you know, you're kind of telling on yourself, while also personally coming to the recognition that whiteness is a political tool and you are currently applying it, right? The people that I consider to be in the out group, okay, if I were to draw boundaries, are not done on inalienable characteristics, but instead on issues like their thinking, reactionary thinking. As you guys know, I personally am not anti-religion either. I am, however, anti-religious fundamentalism. Religious fundamentalism that causes people to try to take away certain people's rights and liberties on the boundaries of religion. It doesn't matter if this is a Muslim fundamentalist, doesn't matter if it's a Jewish fundamentalist, doesn't matter if it's a Christian fundamentalist, right? If I personally didn't believe that people could not shake away some of these opinions, I wouldn't be doing what I do, right? If I thought that like people could not be reasoned with and change their minds, why the fuck would I be spending any time whatsoever? This is something that I hope people can be a little bit more charitable about and understanding on. I know not a lot of charity out there, okay? Not a lot of charity here, especially if you're primed into so much hatred, especially if you watch a lot of drama videos that say I suck shit, that I'm awful. But I do hope that in this very moment you can maybe be a little bit more understanding of what I'm trying to say. You won't lose anything if you try to comprehend what I'm saying here, okay? I promise. But in any case, like I said, it does strike me as odd when a content creator openly says the N-word and it doesn't drive discourse for 3 days in the same way that another content creator saying cracker does. I don't know why that is the case. Because I know that XQC and Asmongold would both not find it to be conscionable or appropriate. Froyo said cracker with a negative connotation to offend Ludwig. Let's not pretend this edgy joke is equivalent. That stuff is banned here, isn't it, Lamau? When will he understand that there's a difference between saying a slur for a joke and target a slur? Like, these people unironically are saying calling a white person a cracker is literally worse than a white guy openly saying the N-word. That is the discourse for these guys, which if you were to have this conversation with real people out in the real world, I suspect they would look at you like you're an insane person. Do you understand? Like, that is a psychotic part of discourse. I know why this happens, because certain editors think Russians were the bad guys in World War II and called Nick Fuentes mildly right-leaning. Twitch is officially cooked. Racism unlocked. Oh, man, my fucking zit looks terrible. God damn it. I really needed to get a better zit patch. Why are these people more offended than Ludwig, who it was said to? I know. That's a whole other aspect of this as well. If you were to try to comprehend this talking point and then relitigate it out in public, your family would disown you. Okay? Why do I know that? It wasn't Asmongold that called Nick moderately right, by the way. Asmongold definitely knows that Nick is a straight up Nazi. And as soon as I was like, bro, what do you do? What's your editor doing? That's crazy. He immediately was like, oh shit, you're right. So I don't think Asmongold personally believes that Nick Fuentes is moderately right wing or whatever. I didn't watch the video, but I'm certain that he did not make assertions to Nick being like simply just a moderately right wing person. The discourse is that words are inherently racist. Their discourse is that words are inherently racist. Aren't inherently racist. The intention is. Yeah. Yeah. When people are up in arms about the C word, cracker, but not a white person saying the N word, it gives disingenuous about actual racism. Yes, exactly.